No. Meet Rusty and Dusty. Rusty is a koala bear. Dusty is a anteater.
And Dusty's been slacking. I've seen an ant or two today. He's slacking. Can't help it. Slacking.
Are you good?
Hold on. Oh shit, that was funny, wasn't it?
It was more terrifying than it was funny.
Oh shit, that was funny, wasn't it?
It was more terrifying than it was funny. Hi there. There's nothing wrong with me, but there is in fact something wrong with you.
You just figuring that shit out?
No.
Okay. It's just me watching myself. There's still only one person on, that's just me.
Oh yeah.
For some reason my chat takes like 3 or 4 minutes sometimes for people to start popping in. Which is weird and dumb. And weird and dumb.
And weird and dumb.
But she missed that part. It's kind of weird and dumb.
Maybe if you posted a dog as a little thing, then maybe that would make
dog?
more people come.
Did you say a dog?
Yeah.
Why?
As a little thing for the live. More people would come and watch it.
If I put a dog in the picture.
Yes, everybody loves dogs.
But we're not talking about dogs today.
Oh well.
Lord have her. She's got problems.
Anyways.
And she likes to bark.
Meow. Meow.
Lord have us all. Guess nobody really cares.
Why the heck is
Nobody's
there a
coming in.
Pokemon thing on the side of your
That's what I put
live?
there. That's my subscribe button. If they click on it, they can automatically subscribe to my channel.
Wait, then how do I do that?
You have to have 1,000 subscribers.
Oh.
And it only works when you're live. It doesn't work on, like, it's not on all my videos. It's just on my live videos, so if people come to my live, they can automatically subscribe here.
Couldn't they just scroll down a bit and subscribe that way?
No. Not the way I have it set up. I might not get anybody today. Holy shit. We're 4
If
months.
nobody comes on soon, I'll do the whip and nana. I give you till 8:05.
Where are the hidden people at?
I will do the whip and nana if nobody shows up.
You know this still goes live on my
I know.
afterwards. And
I
people can
know.
go check it out and see. Somebody over the
It's 8:02, guys.
rainbow. Let's see if somebody's on that is taking all the viewers. Like, is Cammy got a live going on? Or
Well, you definitely for a fact have a live going on. Or is everybody just
Mike's live.
ghosting
I
us
forgot
today?
Mike's live. People are probably over on Mike's live.
Oof. We've been ghosted.
So good.
So 8:03, guys. If we don't get one more person. Well, if we don't get one person, because I'm not counting Dad as a person. I didn't read it that way.
Yes, you did.
No, I read on the live.
Let's see if anybody.
Look at my little.
We're still gonna talk about her. Up. Oh, they're gone. So you still might have to do it, huh?
Look at my little pin, guys. Can't even do it right.
That's close to something.
So, you guys want to see some dogs? Maybe talk about women? Maybe we'll bring some people in. I don't know.
Are you smoking?
Stupid watch.
We have 0 people and 0 people watching.
Come on, people.
How's it going, Danny?
Hi.
Nice to meet you, Danny.
How you doing, Dad? How you doing? Oh, hi. Thank you. Thank you so much. Say 04. It's almost time for me to start doing the whoop-a-nanny. Watch like everybody join when I start doing that. WTWA? What the heck does that even mean?
What the what?
What the what? Oh, okay. Okay. Move out of my way. Now watch me win. Now watch me win. Okay, I'm done.
I'm scared now.
Why are you just staring? Are you good? Are you okay? Like mentally? Hello? Hello? Why are you just staring at them? You're gonna scare our viewers off, Dad! I'm so sorry, viewers. He's like this every day.
About a minute and a half, and we're gonna not have a live tonight. So, nobody comes on in the next minute and a half. No live.
Maybe we should start talking about stuff.
Haven't we been talking the whole time? I even wrote myself.
Guys, I'm gay. Clip that
And
out.
our anteater doesn't know how to eat ants.
Clip that out. We don't want that in there.
The anteater, which is Rusty, right?
No, that's Dusty.
Oh, Dusty, here, does not know how to eat ants. He's a slacker.
Tell him to stop being rude to Dusty.
You're a slacker. What was that? What was that? I think you just called me an asshole.
Oh no.
He's not very nice either. He doesn't like ants and he's an
He
asshole.
waits from you.
And he's an asshole.
Hello.
I know everybody's on like 12 points, that's why there ain't no views. And he's probably still alive. Yep.
Maybe we should check if someone was live before we decide to go live.
I don't care. I'll go live anyway. I don't give a shit if people are or not. Who the fuck did that say?
Grandma Son or something.
Ain't that fucking Johnny's girlfriend's name?
I don't know. Yeah, that's her.
Yeah, I don't think so. Yeah, okay, anyways.
Just stare at them until they come on. Don't hit me!
Teacher, do you see what she just did?
You
She hit me!
first!
Kid, did you see it? You only seen her hit me, didn't you?
You hit me first!
Prove it!
I have the right to hit back! Boys,
What was that?
Boys aren't allowed to hit girls!
If she hit you first, you hit her back, okay.
I'm suing!
The teacher said I can hit you back.
I'm suing!
That's all we needed, 5 people on. Well, there was 5 people on. What's up, guys?
Hello.
Brianna lost it. She was being mean to me.
No, you hit me!
She went like this.
You did that first!
See?
Guys, he deserves it!
Alright, go tell Grandma, come on.
Oh.
And then you can be in the live tomorrow. We'll do a crazy Brianna live tomorrow. You can show everybody your teddy bears. All of them. Mom's gonna come in here and then we will talk to ourselves. It looks like because it says there's one person on, but I don't know if there really is because this thing's been screwing up. So if you're there, say hi. If you're not, don't say hi. I think Mom's on her way in, guys. Yep, here she comes. Or that might be Brianna. Nope, I think it's Mom. What's up? Not very many people on, so I don't know. We might not get very many views tonight. Like, for 10 minutes, me and Brianna said talk to herself.
Oh.
That's what we're doing. Now there's just one person on.
Well, maybe everybody's busy tonight and we can
No,
do it
Mike
some
12
other
Points
night.
says we can do it tonight and they can watch it later.
Okay.
So you can tell them how the story goes and then we'll talk about it. Maybe somebody will show
And
up.
then you will talk about it. Okay, tonight we were supposed to talk about the JonBenet Ramsey
We're
case.
not supposed to. That's what we're talking about.
So,
Are you cold?
I brought my jacket with me
Okay.
just in case. When I think back about all those stories that came out over this little girl, my heart just breaks. She would be, I think, in her 30s. Or real close to 30.
Really?
30, 31.
Tell them about that day. Cause
But I remember when it came across the news that the family had been to a Christmas party. And they went home and it was snowing and everything, you know, outside. And they all went in the house. And were getting ready for bed and for Christmas morning and all this kind of stuff.
she'd be 31 years old, 10 months and 7 days today.
That's what I thought.
31 years old, 10 months and 7 days.
That's what I just said. I said she would have been 31.
Damn, that's been
25 years
a
ago.
while back.
Yeah.
I didn't think it had been
She
that
was
long.
6. She was 6. But anyways, the family went home. I guess the kids went ahead and got ready for bed or whatever, or they put JonBenet to bed or whatever they said they did. There was quite a few different stories about what happened, so, I mean, you can take your pick of what you want to believe, but I believe they put JonBenet to bed because it was late. But the thing that keeps sticking in my mind is JonBenet was not in her own underwear.
I forgot about that, yeah.
When they found her, so I'm like, if she went in, like Patsy says, if she went in and put JonBenet to bed and put her in her jammies and stuff, why didn't she put her in her own underwear?
Yeah, which is weird.
Why did she leave her in someone else's underwear?
Yeah.
Never made any sense to me.
But sometime she got up, right?
She did.
Yeah.
She had woke up and the story was that she had wet her bed. Was the story. The first story that came out. She had wet her bed and it made Patsy mad. Do you remember hearing that?
Yeah.
So
I remember that whole day.
So they had said that Patsy had got so mad at JonBenet that she killed her because she wet her bed. Now, most of us who are mothers or who have children, we may get stressed out if our kid wets the bed. And I'm sure there's some people out there that would actually kill their kid. I guess if it
happens.
was a repeat thing all the time, there is some parents who take it too far and hurt their children. But most of us, we just figure put some plastic on the bed, fix the problem. Buy her a new mattress and make sure it has plastic on it. Don't take the plastic off. Make sure the plastic stays on the bed and then put her sheet over it and everything should be okay, But anyways, like I said, the first story came out was that Patsy had beat her to death. Okay.
Which wouldn't make sense because the little girl ate that night too.
Yes.
After she was supposedly put in bed.
Yes, she came downstairs. Well, she did.
Yeah.
Because it was proven upon autopsy that she had pineapple in her stomach.
Which was her brother's treat.
Yes. Yes. But, the thing that got me is all of a sudden they came up with, supposedly getting up the next morning. Now, all these other things came out after the fact. That JonBenet had got up, that she had had a snack, that Bert was in the kitchen. He got mad and jealous. All of this came after the fact of the stories that John and Patsy were telling the police and stuff. And if you watch a lot of the interviews, in my opinion, you can tell they're lying.
Oh yeah, they're hiding something.
You can absolutely tell by looking at them parents. Something's not right. They know the truth. They're not saying it. But I ask myself often what I would do if it was one of my kids. And they had murdered or hurt somebody really bad. Would I snitch? You guys?
You'd have to be in a situation.
I love my kids, but I think I'd snitch.
But still, you'd have to be in a situation. You wouldn't.
I would have to be in it.
You wouldn't know what you'd do until that moment when it happened.
I would snitch. This is my true feelings. I would snitch on my own kids, and I hope that, which I would never hurt anybody, Lord, please. But even if it was me and my kids had the decision, I hope my kids snitch on me. Because I would hate for somebody to get one of my children and kill them. And they would probably hate for somebody to get their mom and kill them. So I think I would snitch to protect my child. I'd rather my child do prison time
Yeah, but
than somebody kill my kid. You know, even though my kid did wrong.
so you'd rather your kid be tortured for the rest of their life than...
Well, if you don't have enough respect for what your mother taught you, then yes, you need to be tortured.
Well, when that kid was what, 11 when that happened?
Bert?
Yeah.
Wasn't he 9?
He was older than her.
Yeah, but she was
5, right?
6.
Yeah.
5, 6, something like that. I don't think we really truly got the exact age, but maybe somebody did. She was 5 or 6. Burke was
3 or 4 years older.
3 or
than
4
her.
years older than her.
Yeah.
So,
So he was still a kid.
a kid, yes.
So he might not even have realized that he did anything wrong
Until it was too
until
late.
it was too late. So by what you're saying is you would turn your kid in and put them in prison the rest of your life for something they might not even have realized they did anything wrong.
My kids right now, at the ages they are, know better.
We're not talking about the ages we're at now. When me and Johnny were the age that they are, I don't think you would have turned us in. You would have made up something too. Well, you and Dad both would have.
I think your dad and I would have fought because I would have wanted the truth to be known because I wouldn't want anybody to hurt my kid.
Well,
So
if you let your kid
maybe I would have put my child, if it was one of my children, maybe I would have put him in an institution.
You wouldn't have a choice. Once you said that, your kid's a murderer, the state's taken over. You have no say-so from that point on.
But most of the time you go to a children's home
Till you're 18.
till you're 18, and then you will serve out the rest of your time.
Yeah, and prison where you're getting the shit beat out of you all the time.
But to me, it would be...
I would never, ever, ever turn my kids in. Ever. Ever. I would take the fall before I let them take the fall. And that's what the mother and father did. Because I think the son did it. And almost everybody thinks the son did it. And the mother and father didn't turn him in for it. That's what most mothers and fathers would do.
Like you said, I'd probably have to be in this situation, but I would want my kids to be honest and say if they did something like that.
Well,
I'm sorry.
Karma gets you. You don't have to.
It does.
You don't have to help it. Karma, that bitch gets everybody.
Karma is an awful thing, guys. So
Yeah, we're talking about ourselves. It's just me and you. It's been me and you the whole time. But they
Don't
can
even
rewatch
think-
the video later.
don't even think that it can't happen because karma bites you in the butt. But anyways, as we go further into JonBenet, she apparently, I guess mom was mad or whatever, and they said that mom killed her and all this
Which nobody
kind of
believes.
stuff. You know, spanked her so hard and all this, but they didn't find any bruises of a beating, so...
See, the thing with the mother, though,
Excuse me.
the mother was living through the little girl.
Yes.
So I don't think she would be somebody that would kill the little girl, because then that takes her dream away.
Yes.
So for it to be Patsy,
But see,
if it was Patsy, it had to be an absolute axe of freaking dead.
But that's why, that's a lot of the reason why I think Burke was so jealous of
Yeah, I guarantee he was jealous.
JonBenet, because
She was
she
getting
got
all
all
the
these
attention.
fancy dresses, and she always got her hair done and her nails
Yeah,
done and her toenails
Which
done. And
We'll get into that right now since we're talking about this. Any parent, and I don't give a crap who you are, that puts their kids in these pageants and makes them look like they're 30, 40 years old when they're 6.
you're setting them children up.
You're a piece of shit. I'm sorry. I don't give a shit who you are. If you're making your kid out to be a slut when they're 6 years old and don't have any clue what they're doing, they're just doing what you tell them to do, you're not a good parent.
Because you want that child to have a crown?
Yeah, you're not a good parent if you're putting your kids in these pageants and dressing them up the way that they dress these kids up.
I can see going for king and queen of your county fair
Yeah,
or
your
something like
fair's
that,
different.
you know, or prince and princess,
But when you put
like
millions
they
of dollars
do the
in,
little ones. But when you keep this up, this child has to be somewhere every weekend to be in a pageant to get a crown because my kid's number one and blah blah blah. Come on now.
yeah,
That's not what we want to teach our little girls.
or boys. There's
We
boys
don't want
that
to
do
teach
this shit
the
too.
boys. We don't want to teach them that.
They don't need to. I'm talking both boys and girls because they do it with the boys too. Because boys get the king things and they're dressing these boys up like
The princes.
like they're 19, 20, 30 years old when they're 6 or 7.
And these fantastic,
Yeah.
great looking tuxedos and things like this on these little boys and
It's
these
just
bow ties and these fancy hairdos. Come on now.
whoever come up with the idea to have these and put this much money into it, there's something wrong in that department too.
Yes. Yes. But they knew it would make money. Because they knew there would be a lot of parents out there that would put their kids through this. But JonBenet, getting back to JonBenet, she did a lot of pageants. And that little girl was beautiful. Now, come on now. We all have to admit she was beautiful, beautiful girl. But you could also see a sadness in her eyes.
Because she wasn't allowed to be a kid.
She wasn't happy. You could tell by looking at her face a lot of times in a lot of the videos that are out there of JonBenet. She just wasn't a happy little girl. It was almost like this was being forced on her.
Well,
and I'm not saying it was.
It was.
But the child acts that way in video.
100% it was forced on her. She was never allowed to be a kid. Like there's videos of her trying to be a kid and her mother yelling at her, that's not what a proper girl does.
Come on, my kids played dirt. My kids played in mud puddles.
Like she was not allowed to be a kid at all. Not even a little bit.
And I believe that's where a lot of Burke's jealousy came in, is because she got everything she wanted and he didn't get anything. She would get these $400 or $500 dresses or outfits and $300 to have her hair done and her makeup put on and Bert got nothing. And this was pretty much every weekend, every other weekend in the summertime when school wasn't going on. This is what JonBenet was doing, and she was traveling the world trying to be Little Miss Everything. And it's because Patsy, if I'm not mistaken, Patsy was queen of something when she was younger.
Oh, just once.
Just once, yes. And I guess Patsy seen it in her own eyes that that's how JonBenet should be.
She was living...
And pretty much forced it on her daughter.
Making her daughter live her life.
Yes, she was living her life through her daughter.
Yeah.
She was pushing her daughter to do what she could never do. You know, so I think Patsy, in a way, was jealous of her own daughter, too.
Yeah,
because of her beauty and...
I don't think she caused it, though. I still think it's the son. Pert's the one that did it. No doubt in my mind.
You know, when I seen that interview on Dr. Phil, and
like
just
that kid laughed in the interview.
And that constant
and smiled the whole time.
And you could tell by looking at his eyes that, yeah, you know what happened.
I don't know what's going on with the chat. There has not...
You really know what's happened.
Really been nobody on this whole time. Like one person popped in the whole time we've been talking.
Wow.
There must be somebody else that's live right now.
There could very well
But
be.
yeah, it's they can watch it later. But there was a guy, the next door neighbor. He dressed up like Santa Claus. He played Santa Claus every year. For a while, even the Ramsey family was accusing him for doing it. But the window that you had to get into the basement
That man
was
got
like
it.
the size of a normal basement window. Like they're the little square
The old-fashioned windows.
12 by 12.
Yeah, like
Like the little square windows that had a window that kind of pops up.
yeah,
It pops
or
up.
pops down.
Yeah, they pop up and down.
Either way.
But it pops up, and then when you let it down, it pops down.
Yeah, and
Well,
they
this
also
guy-
have the ones that pull.
Well, this one, but theirs popped up and down.
Okay,
And
he couldn't have fit
this
in
guy played Santa Claus every year, so he was a pretty big guy. Like he was the size of what Santa Claus is.
there. Mhm.
And they said this guy came through the window and got her and did this to her, and then climbed back out the window.
On a suitcase that he would have flattened.
Yeah. Yeah. No.
And I'm like,
This guy could have. There's not even very many kids that could
That could
climb
get
through
the
these
window.
these freaking basement windows.
I probably could because I'm scrawny, but
But there's-
I would probably twitch
but
around too.
when you did
but
it, you'd have to go backwards if you're going to land on your feet. Most kids would think, or even adults would think, go head first,
yes.
and
And then you're going to fall on the floor
then yeah.
and break a leg or an arm or something. So, I mean, you know,
But
it
this
just
guy was
doesn't-
huge.
It don't make sense that they say the person came through the basement window.
Yeah.
There's no possible way
Like
because it's so high up and the drop to the floor, you'd hurt yourself.
even if you didn't hurt yourself, you'd be a really small person. How the fuck do you get back up to the window?
Well, they had a suitcase there.
Yeah, but the person that's going to be able to get through that window ain't gonna be 6 foot tall.
Well, I don't know.
It's gonna be somebody that's 4 foot tall or 5 foot tall.
and most people, including me, I'm scrawny, would break the glass. If it's one that pops down, you know, because a lot of them basement windows pop down this way. If you put your weight or anything on that glass, it's
It
going to
should break.
crack and break. Nothing.
No broken glass.
No fingerprints. No cells.
it
no
wasn't-
hair.
The window wasn't even open.
I mean, it just,
Like there's pictures of the basement,
yes, there is.
and it was right
There is
after.
a picture of a
it's-
suitcase sitting there
it's
where
right-
they supposedly climbed on the suitcase and got out.
Right after that this happened, but the windows closed from the inside, not from the outside, from the inside. The lock's locked on the inside. How do you lock the lock on the inside once you're outside?
You can't. You just,
Like so, there's only three people that could have done it.
well,
Her
and they
mother-
also proved that Patsy wrote the ransom note because
Yeah.
everything matched up to John's bonus and everything else. The pin was found
Yeah.
on a coffee table in the living room.
Yeah.
How would Dad know where? How would cops go into a home to search a home for a missing child in the home? How could the cops miss that one room?
They did.
But the dad knew right where to go. And then he comes out carrying his daughter instead of leaving her there for evidence.
Yeah, he moved her, so
He took her upstairs.
yeah, so there's no way for the evidence that he moved her out of the spot where the evidence would have been.
Right. And then they also found a flashlight on the same table as the pin where the ransom note was written. And they think that that was possibly used to
Yeah, well,
tighten up
the noose.
the garrote on her neck. I had to think about what it was called. On her neck, you know. And even if it was me and I'm scrawny, Burke is scrawny, but if he put a noose around her neck, even at 9 years old, and wrapped it around this flashlight, the rope, and they just kept wrapping it and wrapping it and wrapping it and wrapping it and wrapping it, he could kill her at 9.
Yeah, but I don't think he'd be smart enough to do that. What I think happened is and this is just my own opinion, I think
Garrotes are usually made by adults.
I think Bert is the reason she died. Bert caused her death. And then the mother and father made it look like it was somebody else by doing the other stuff. And that way they could cover it up that their son did it.
Patsy went to her grave saying that none of them did it.
One of the three of them did it.
And
There's no other. There's no.
the dad hardly ever talks anymore. Now I think he has a new girlfriend. I could be mistaken, but I think the dad does. But he hardly ever talks about her, and Burke has only talked a couple of times. So this last one that he did with Dr. Phil, I watched him and I'm like, man, he's either guilty or he knows the story just by looking at his face and his eyes. I mean, it just disgusts me. Also, what you have to remember is it was snowing at the time that this all happened.
No footprints.
There was no footprints outside the window, no footprints in the yard, no footprints in the backyard. It's kind of odd because when you think about it, you guys, how the heck did the Ramseys get into their house with no footprints in the snow?
Well, it depends on how good it was coming down.
It was coming down pretty good.
So you can cover your footprints in a few minutes.
But, yeah, there was no footprints, no slide marks, no nothing out in the snow. Now, the Ramseys had an exquisite home, so maybe they pulled into the garage. They opened the garage door, and that's why there was no footprints from them. But that just tells you if there's no footprints around this house, or even, and I understand you're saying they get covered up. I gotcha. But there will be a difference in the snow. And cops are supposed to know how to tell that, from footprints and stuff, because there will be a pack in and then there'll be a light snow over it. So once you hit your feet in snow, anybody from snow areas, we all know, it packs it. So the snow that's over the top of it, and you could take a broom and lightly dust snow and stuff to see if there's prints. There was no prints. So
this person just put, John just did CrimeCon 2020 and 2022 in Vegas. So he did.
Oh, he did do one.
He did do something in 2022.
I'll have to look that up because I did not know that.
So that's this year's.
Yeah.
I don't know what month, but sometime this year.
Well, Bert just did his not too long ago too. So maybe Dad and son got together and discussed what they were going to talk about. But even when you look at
he started a petition to test more DNA.
There is supposed to be DNA in the police department, and they haven't done anything about it.
This guy, apparently, whoever this is, it says their name is One Solved Mystery. So I guess they do. Do you do actual mysteries? Because I need to follow you. I like mystery stuff.
I do too.
So let me write that down so I don't forget to check out your channel.
That's very interesting. I didn't know that John had actually put out an interview. I will have to go, because I followed JonBenet since it happened. And everything that comes up on her I watch. And I did not know about the John interview. I knew about Bert's, but I didn't know about John. So I will have to go check that out. Because he might say something that might change my mind even again. But I still, in my own mind,
I think the son did it.
I think Bert did it.
Yeah.
I think he got very jealous of JonBenet, and he killed his sister. He got mad because she got in the refrigerator and she took his snack, which was pineapple cream, pineapple or ice cream, pineapple dessert, whatever.
Whatever the dessert was.
It was pineapple, and it was Bert's, and JonBenet took it. And I think he got mad and lost it, and I think he hurt his sister. I don't think he meant to,
Yeah, I don't think he meant to either.
but he did it.
But yeah, and then the mother and father covered it up.
Yes. That's exactly what I believe. Because how in the world can all the writing, and I remember Patsy saying, no, it wasn't me. I didn't do it. Interview after interview. No, I did not write that. I did not write that. But every bit of it come back as her writing by all kinds of different specialists.
Yeah, they proved it was her writing.
All came back as Patsy's writing.
Yeah.
The pen was on the coffee table.
They never actually proved the pen was actually the pen that wrote it, though, because the pen was out of ink already, so they couldn't use the pen to remake letters again. They
couldn't
they
do
figured out what color it was,
right,
and how it wrote,
right,
but they couldn't.
The strokes.
They couldn't see what the pen could do because there was no more ink in it.
Right, but
or it was just about out of ink or something like that. There was not much ink in it.
Well, usually what they do is they test it for all kinds of color, velocity, and how it writes.
But it was from the same batch for sure.
Yes, from the same batch of pens.
Yes.
Yes, it was. And there's no way anybody, now think about this, there's no way anybody could have known what John's bonus was. Nobody would know but people at his office maybe, or his family.
It says pen and paper 100% from inside the house.
Yes, it was. It absolutely was. And she denied that till her last breath. She denied it, but she did it. She absolutely wrote that note. It was proven time and again.
Oh, this person, you just covered the this person just covers the JonBenet Ramsey freaking case.
Interesting. I'll have to check out your page too because I've been following it since it happened.
And apparently they just started following it like 10 months ago. This channel, that's all he talks about on his channel is this case.
Right. I've heard that they have DNA and all that kind of stuff.
I just subscribed to you.
And the little, the underwear that she was wearing wasn't hers, so how can we be sure that the DNA that was on the underwear that JonBenet was wearing wasn't from a man somewhere else because it was proven it wasn't JonBenet's underwear. They were too big for her.
But it wouldn't have been a man's either because it wasn't that big. So it could have been her brother's.
Her brother's what?
Her brother's underwear.
No, it was girls' underwear. And they were too big for her.
But
way
you just
too
said
big.
It was a man's underwear. That's
no, I didn't. The underwear that JonBenet was wearing, which
he put,
strikes
they
me,
were from her cousin.
Yeah, which strikes me funny is how did a man's semen get on them underwear?
Well,
could it have come from another house and was brought in?
Well, he just said it's her cousin's.
Yeah, it was her cousin's underwear.
Okay.
That I knew. It came from someone else. I just say it came from someone else. But yeah, they were at a family's house celebrating Christmas, and then they came home. But she had peed herself or something while at...
So maybe while she was out at the freaking Christmas party, she peed herself, and they changed her clothes while she was at the Christmas party.
That's what I said. Yeah. Because she didn't have on her own underwear, and the underwear was proven to be way too big for her. Yeah, but where did the semen come from? That they're saying they found on them underwear.
Well, they found on the clothes. But Crystal put, hey y'all, sorry I'm late. I have to go back and watch the start. The first 10 minutes, me and Brianna are being crazy, so you should enjoy that. Not semen, just DNA. So they didn't find any semen, they just found DNA.
Now see, I heard semen.
Well, there's been a lot. This story's changed
It's
multiple
just-
times over the years too.
Yes, it has, because it's went to John did it, Patsy did it, Bert did it, a stranger did it, a child molester did it. I mean, there's so
the
many.
neighbor.
Yeah, the neighbor did it. There's so many stories out there.
This person put nope. It was definitely DNA, not semen.
Okay. I'm okay with being corrected. I thought it was semen, but thank you very much. I will look into it some more. Wonder why they haven't tested that.
No, apparently that's what the dad's trying to get them to do more DNA tests. That's what they said up here. I thought
Yeah, but they should have done tested this
they should have.
and done put it out across all police stations and police scanners or anything that you come up. If you come up with this DNA, it matches the JonBenet case. That should be out there for everybody, every police department, sheriff's department, highway patrol department. Everybody should have that information on that DNA.
That family had money too. People say could have been from Panty Factory. So it could have been brand new with DNA from the people that were.
That's possible too. But the underwear were her cousins.
They got a weak sample, no matches found. And once you use so much of it,
Yeah,
the sample gets worse.
There's not enough. It gets degraded too bad.
So if it was already weak at the beginning, it's going to be worse now.
Well, I watched the detective that went into the home personally and made his own story. I can't remember the detective's name. But he went in and investigated. He's no longer, a detective investigator, but he did go and redo the JonBenet case, and he went into the home and he said there's no way.
No way what?
There's no way anybody came in. There's just no possible way. I mean, he set up every scenario like they said it happened. He set up the suitcase in the basement. He doesn't understand how the officers missed the room that JonBenet was in. Just everything. There's no way. There's no way.
Yeah, it's one of the three of them. Either the mother, the father, or the son.
And there's no prints outside the home at all. If you look at the pictures, there's no footprints. There's nobody's fingerprints who tried to open the doors or open any of the windows or anything like that. How in the hell did they get in?
It's a good question. Crystal put so much new technology, they should redo everything.
Yep.
It'd be almost hard to do now, though, because they sold the house.
They can still spray
They sold.
luminol. I think the house is empty.
Well, either way, you'd
I
have
don't
to
think
get
it got
permission.
sold.
You'd have to get permission to go there. More likely, they're not going to let you.
Well, now they let this investigator go in and make his show. He went in the home.
To go in and make a show. How much did they pay him?
I don't know.
Yeah, there was money
question.
involved in that situation. Like they're
That's
not just
a good
going to let
question.
a cop go in and redo things without some money being there for them.
I'm not saying there wasn't no money, but he went in the home. I don't think the house has ever been sold because the mystery has not been solved. I just think it sits vacant.
He said some preacher's daughter lives there now. No go. So I guess they did sell the house. I thought they sold the house. I swear I heard they sold the house. So apparently there's a preacher's daughter that lives there now. And a preacher's daughter ain't going to let you go in and search the house probably. So
Was that just a recent sale?
No, I think it was a couple of years ago. It was like 3 or 4 years ago, I believe, but I'm sure he knows more. This person knows more. Well, I don't know if it's a male or female, but one solved
Because
mystery.
I heard that
Was
it was still empty. It's still considered a crime
I think it was
scene
like 3 years ago.
because it's still on the books. It's
You can't
still
not-
an open crime.
It's not a freaking but it's a cold case. Like
Right.
they're not going to keep the house abandoned because of a cold case. They're gonna. You can still sell the house. Like you can't keep a crime for the rest of their life because nobody solved the crime.
Well,
You
yeah,
couldn't
it
even-
is. It's an open crime.
But then you could go nowhere. There's a crime on the highway. Can you prove that somebody didn't shoot somebody? Well, then we got to go around it. You just can't do that. Like there's all kinds of.
JonBenet's case is
I
still
got that,
open.
but they're not going to hold a house up because of a cold case.
I'm just saying, I didn't hear of it being sold. I'm not saying that you guys are wrong.
This person put the house
At
is
all.
empty still.
I just
So one
heard
person
that
said-
it's not.
One person says there's a preacher's daughter that lives there, and then another person put the house is empty still.
Yes, I think it is. Nobody wants it because that child was killed in that home. And it's such a high-profile
This
case.
person just
They
put
probably want millions and millions for it.
this person just put they cement filled the room she was found in. The room no longer exists. The house is nothing like it was. Walls ripped out and moved around.
I think they got
Like
rid
the
of
Watts
evidence.
house. Like the Watts house won't sell. So I don't know. One person saying it is empty, and one person saying that there's a preacher's daughter that lives there. So I guess we got to look into it.
Right. Because I've always been told.
I heard it sold like
paid
3 or 4 years
attention,
ago.
That it was never sold.
So I
That's
guess
what I heard. Because nobody wanted to live in that home because that little girl was murdered there.
it says there are YouTube videos on it. So maybe it is sold to a preacher's daughter. This person.
Why would you go in and completely cement that room?
Unless,
What were you hiding? Was it the velocity of blood splatter? Did you throw all the evidence inside the cement when you did this? Come on. Who does that?
what's up, Billy? Billy said hi, Mom.
Hi. I mean, who would do that?
Well,
who would cement a whole room?
But if I was to buy a house that a murder happened in, I would cement the fucking room. You would too.
You'd cement it up to the roof.
Why not?
No, I don't think you would.
You're not everybody in the world.
No. How many people died in this house or on this land?
Millions. Because
Well, you better cement this house.
I don't
then.
give a shit though. That's the difference between me and you.
That's what I'm
That
saying.
person might be like, well, I don't want to be involved in this room. Let's cement it. Everybody looks at things differently.
You're absolutely right, but why buy the damn house?
Well, you like the damn house. You just didn't want that room.
No, that does something don't sound right there.
Well, it's cemented.
If they cemented that room, I bet they threw in a lot of evidence and it's inside that room. Now that's my true feelings. If they really truly
It was somebody
did
that cemented after they bought it. So it wouldn't have been the family that cemented it. It's somebody that cemented after they bought it. So there would be no evidence. The family already got rid of that shit. It's somebody that did it afterwards. So if it was the family that cemented it, then I would say there's evidence in the cement. But it happened after somebody bought
I'm gonna
it.
have to really check that out because I've never heard this. Never. And I have followed this case.
We haven't even put it for sale yet, Billy. Me and my brother and my ex-wife cleaned the property off for the last 2 days. I did a video on it earlier if you want to see what the property looks like. I did a live video. So you can go check it out. But yeah, it probably won't be for another couple weeks before you even put it on the market. We got to get a shed and some other stuff. So that's weeks from now before it even goes on market. We just had an estimate to see how much it would sell for. They put the family did it. Yes, somebody in the family for sure did it. One of the three of them.
They all know, even if it wasn't,
Yeah.
even if I'm pointing my fingers at the wrong person, and I don't think I am, I say Burke.
I say it's Burke too.
But even if it was Patsy or John, they all know who did it. And you can tell by looking at John and Burke. When you do see them do interviews, which I will check out the new one, but even looking at John and Patsy's interviews, they look guilty. And Patsy kind of like drains white in quite a few of them. And John just starts looking off and getting disgusted and don't want to talk. And you guys have seen some of the interviews, but then you come to Burke's.
And he's always smiling and laughing.
That just came out a couple of months ago. And yeah, he's got these smirks and he moves his eyes guiltily and he doesn't really look at you when he's talking and just he's fidgety and he almost acts like he's not all there.
Well, if I killed my little sister, like just
that's my opinion.
And I think that's what happened too.
But he acts
if you
like
did that,
he acts like there's something mentally or physically wrong.
If you did that at he was like 8 or 9 when it happened. Right. And then you had to carry that with you from that point till now, which he'd be like 35, 36 now.
Yes.
That would probably play in your mind
over and over and over
all
again.
the time. That what you did, and it'd probably make your mind freaking. You'd probably lose it sometimes just thinking about it.
I'm not saying there's something wrong. He's like.
He
went through college and everything, and apparently he did good. But to me, when I watched his interviews since he's older, he acts slow.
He's got a mental...
I'll put it that way. He acts slow.
Or he wants you to think that.
Or he's afraid he's going to say something, so he does it super slow, so you feel sorry for him.
Yeah, that's a setup.
But then he smirks and grins and smiles and don't look at the camera and doesn't look at Dr. Phil too much. He's looking around, wondering. I mean, you'd have to watch it.
Crystal always thought it was the brother. Most people think it's the brother.
And I think he got mad because JonBenet ate his treat.
And then ROWM they wrote that ransom note. It's the length of a scroll. Only people like them would write that kind of letter. I think there was a lot of abuse in the family. Patsy was controlling.
You know, I think so too. I think you're absolutely right. I think if Patsy didn't get her way, she became the world's best bitch.
And she was a bitch even after JonBenet died because
yes,
you could see it in her. She would try to be nice when she was doing interviews, but you could see that littlest things would piss her off. Oh. And she'd raise her voice real quick, but then she realized I'm in an interview and bring it back down. Yeah, she did that quite often when it first happened.
It was almost like John was afraid of her because if he would leave her, he would lose everything he had.
Yeah, she was at least going to get half of everything.
So it was like a fear thing. You know, you could tell it. And they had, in my opinion, like a really bad love-hate relationship. John and Patsy did, and you could see it when they were together. And you know, usually when you love someone, you'll lean into or something like that. But they're usually leaning away from each other, and I mean, just
yeah. But you got to think if their son killed their daughter, which almost everybody thinks that's what happened. Like, if you did a poll on this, the son's gonna win the poll by a landslide. Like, most people aren't gonna say the mother, the father, or the neighbor or somebody else. They're gonna say it was the brother.
Yeah.
And that's gonna be 87% of the people that vote is gonna probably pick, maybe even 90%. So I mean,
I really don't think we'll
have
ever
that
know.
in your head as a parent that the kid you have living with you
killed your daughter.
and is capable of doing that to you guys, and you all live in the same house, that would play with your mind.
But just in case Burke didn't,
then the father or mother did it, and
father
it still plays in your mind.
That would have to bother. I don't know if I can get in bed with my spouse.
Either way, one of them did it.
So you'd all want to be in your own room with the door locked or something, with a rifle or a shotgun or a knife or a hammer or a hatchet or something.
Yeah, Hillbilly
to protect yourself.
Hillbilly put how old are me? How's it going, Hillbilly? How old, Mom?
Hi. How are you? I'm looking into the Ruby Ridge. Looking into that one. It's probably going to be a little bit, but I am looking into it.
Crystal put, yeah, if the son did it, then it caused a riffle between them. Yes. And it would.
Could you imagine having your 9-year-old child
living in your house, knowing...
You'd be petrified.
Knowing that he's capable...
Of killing.
And you just got him away with murder.
Yeah. Yeah. Or even
the mother or father.
Yeah. You're all three still living in the home, protecting each other.
At least two of you didn't do it.
You're going to be scared.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm surprised all of them ain't
lost their mind.
Nutwhacker jobs.
Yeah.
Or whatever you want to call them, but like
Are you getting cold?
Yeah.
But
I'm okay. But I mean, think about it. Most of it, to me, and I welcome you guys' opinions because I can always have mine changed, you know. This is just my own opinions. I really, truly, in my heart, I think Burke did it. I really don't think Patsy did because she was living her life through JonBenet, and she was giving everything she had to JonBenet to make her the princess of the world, I guess, is what you want to call it, because that's what Patsy dreamed of. And John didn't want to cause any friction because he was afraid of Patsy's retaliation. So it seemed like it was like an on-fire relationship.
And in all reality, though, I think the son did it. And the mother and father made it look like somebody else did it.
But there's no evidence
But by doing that, it makes all three of them guilty.
Of accessory.
Because at least two of them helped cover it up.
Mm-hmm.
And if you couldn't turn anybody in unless you want to turn yourself in, because now you're all involved in it somehow. But Crystal put a lot of time going through a tragedy like losing a child will split up people to because of different ways of grieving. And then and this is you hit it on the nail how my mom feels about it. So I'm going to say it, and she agrees with you 100%. It says, if one of my kids did something to another, of course it would be a hard pill to swallow, but I'm sorry I've turned my child in. That's dangerous.
Yes. Because what it does is it leaves an open person that was half lunatic to not even realize what they did in the first place, if that's where we're going with this, or to have such jealous rage to hurt a sibling. I wouldn't want to be in the same house. I just wouldn't. And Patsy always flew off the handle at a snap. I mean, half the time wasn't even a snap. Might have been a sideward glance from John, and Patsy would, or a sideward glance from an interviewer, and she would get real high in her voice, and then she'd realize what she did, and she'd go back down to a real soft whisper, like she was innocent and didn't know
Well, if you talk real soft, I can't hear you because of my air conditioning.
But that's, I'm explaining what she did in a lot of interviews, because you would see her and she would get irate and mad, and then she'd have to bring herself back to this innocent princess. So yeah, I think they all know who did it. They all knew.
I don't think so, Crystal, but I could be wrong. But I'll read it because there's a couple of people here that follow her story besides just my mom. It says, did they ever have a child psychologist talk to the brother? I think he was in therapy.
Yes, he did go to a therapist, and he also had
that was before that, wasn't it? It wasn't after.
It was after, and they also had a police officer, the specialist in the police officers department that works with just children, came in and worked with him. But I don't know of the results because this is still an open case. They haven't let that information out.
Yeah.
But they will tell you it's still an open case.
I knew he was seeing somebody before, but I didn't know if it happened after.
Yeah, the police department did, you know how when it's children, they'll bring in special doctors and nurses and everything to interview the children on their own level. And that was done with birth.
Mystery put, they took a sip of his drink and he got pissed. I'm not for sure what he's going with here.
No, JonBenet took his dessert.
I don't think that's what they're talking about. I think he's talking about something somebody else did, and he got pissed. So I don't know, but Oops put, either way, it's one child over the other. If you protect the kid that did it, you're picking them, and if you turn the kid in, you're picking the other. It's terrible, but you do what you have to do.
Right.
How are you, Ashley?
I would not.
Oh, the psychologist took a sip of his drink and he got pissed.
Was that when the police department was interviewing him because they wanted to see, because he was such a...
So if they took a sip of his drink, imagine his sister taking his freaking snack.
And that's what happened. She took his snack.
He said, yep, that's what happened.
Yeah. They wanted to see the reaction that they could get out of him if he was as calm, cool, and collective as he was letting everybody think he was. So that's why I'm thinking they took a sip of his drink to watch his reaction, to see what would happen if he boiled up. And that's exactly what he did.
How are you, Joe? Joe said hello.
So he came unglued when she ate his snack, because she came downstairs by herself and got Burke's snack out of the fridge and was eating it. And I think he came in, and that was that. And I think, if you really want my honest opinion, I think the dad put JonBenet down in the room.
I think the dad covered it all up.
I think it happened in the kitchen with the snack. And Daddy carried her downstairs. Because if you remember, she was also covered up.
Hold on. Joe, we're not talking about Summer Wells. We're talking about JonBenet. Totally two different people. JonBenet wasn't sold. She was found dead.
She was found dead in her parents' home.
We're not talking about Summer Wells. We're talking about JonBenet.
JonBenet Ramsey.
It's in the description.
Yeah.
How was your surgery, Ashley? I think that was today. She had broke her toe, or her foot, broke her foot.
Oh,
she had to have surgery
no. Today. Bless your heart. You're hurting. I will keep you in my prayers.
So, old Johnny Gobble's live right now? Yay, who cares? Joe put he's good. How are you?
Joe
said hello a little bit ago, and you didn't say hello back.
Oh, I'm so sorry,
So he said, how are you?
Today, and this is way off track, but Danny and I had a discerning day. And I didn't sleep good yesterday. I only slept about 2 hours today. So I get up and Danny comes home, and we put this big pot of potatoes on the stove, and he puts in all his spices. I put in all my spices. Well, he goes to town, him and Bree, and I'm just sitting in there, and we're making this huge pot, you guys, of potatoes, which turned out really good.
They were amazing. I made
we'll
a video.
tell you on Food Day about it, but
Yeah.
the discerning part is Danny and Brianna went to town, and it was so hot here today in Missouri. I mean,
Miserable.
humid, miserably. Definitely Missouri weather. It stinks. But Danny comes back to the house and he's bringing in juice and he got some meat for our salad tomorrow and stuff like that. When you make a chef salad. And so he got that and he comes in. Him and Brianna are bringing this stuff in, and my son goes out and looks in the car and says, "Mom, I can't find my wallet and my phone." I'm like, "What?" So he went out and he looked in the trunk to make sure he hadn't set it down, and when he brought in groceries, he hadn't set it down in the trunk. You do that sometimes. He made sure he didn't put it in his little pocket beside his seat in the car and all this kind of stuff, So he comes in and he said, "Mom, it's not out there. My wallet or my phone is not out there." I'm telling you what, we went through the front room, the kitchen, the dining room, the laundry room, his room. We couldn't find it. We dug through the trash, because you never know. Things can slide off, and you're carrying stuff. It can slide off in a trash can or whatever. And well, he couldn't find it, and I couldn't find it, and we just kept looking. And Danny said, "Well, Mom, I'm going to run back to the store.
See if maybe I dropped it.
See if he dropped it there." And I just kept looking. And we searched for this for like an hour and a half. And I mean, I came in here in his room. I straightened up his bed. I looked in his bathroom. I looked everywhere. Oh my gosh, you guys. He comes back. He says, he's yelling at me. And I come out of his room because we leave the door shut here. This is his private room. And so he's yelling at me.
You guys see this? This was pushed in here, and when I pulled it out, my wallet and my phone are right here.
I dug through trash today, you guys. I mean, I dug through trash. I spent an hour and a half going over this house, over this house, over this house. He went to town. Oh my gosh, I was so pissed. But it was funny. And I was ever so grateful that the good Lord let it be right here. But I never thought to come in, because I came in his room and looked everywhere, because he leaves his juice in here and things like that, that he drinks.
All right, we're all way off the subject here.
But, I'm telling you, after you do this for an hour and a half, though, you're really stressing out, because you're thinking you're going to have to spend a fortune to get everything redone. And there it sat, pushed underneath the desk.
Back to what we're on the videos about.
JonBenet.
Joe put, I'm saying she was killed and it covered up. Yes, 100% Joe is killed and covered up.
My family.
Billy put, no, Dagbon. Is that like a comedian? I'll have to look him up. I guess he makes fun of Johnny Gobble. Dagbon, okay. I will look that up after I get off here. Ashley said no, her surgery's tomorrow. I thought you said it was... my bad, I thought you said it was today.
But still, I will keep you in my prayers, hon.
And her job won't pay her to be off. And she only has $80, so now she has to probably find another job once the surgery's over, because she doesn't want to go back because these guys are assholes, apparently. She was telling us about that earlier. Like,
oh, please tell me you didn't break your foot at work.
And then she put, Crystal put, oh, humanity down here, the humidity humidity
Humidity.
down here in Louisiana was thick enough to knock you down. Like me and my daughter, we usually go out into town like around the evening time, like 5, 6 o'clock, and we'll go out and stay out for 2 or 3 hours. Like
Oh, yeah.
2 or 3 hours. I think we were gone like 45 minutes.
If
And
that.
that's going to the store too. 45 minutes. I was like,
If that.
no way, we were not staying out here. We're going back
You
home.
couldn't even walk outside. It absolutely, the humidity was so high, it took my breath. It was like an extreme flush of hot in my face. It was like, so yeah, I know what you're talking about in Louisiana.
Ashley put, I always lose my wallet. Joe put, oh no. Crystal put, glad you found it.
You know, I felt so, I was so grateful. I was thanking God. Thank you, Lord Jesus. I mean, come on.
Losing your phone and your wallet on the same day would suck because you got to redo all your shit on your phone, and then you got to do your driver's license, your credit cards, your all that
Bank
other shit,
cards.
bank cards,
Social Security cards. I mean, just everything that you have, and by the time, and I've lost my wallet and had to redo everything, you know. So, and it costs you a lot, and then to have somebody hand it back to you, that happened to me.
Jake put, howdy there, Danny the man and Mama the man.
Mama the man.
That's what he put.
Well, I'm not a man, but...
Mystery put, Florida is ridiculous hot right now.
Oh, I heard the other day that Florida was having some humidity bad. It was like 3 days ago I heard that. Because I try to keep up with temperatures everywhere, you know, because I'm dumb, I guess. You know, I just want to see what everybody else's weather's like. And I did notice that Florida was having some really bad humidity. I did notice that.
I don't think my mom knew how you broke your bone, and it was me and Donna when you were telling us. But she put, no, I fell over my daughter's shoes, laughing out loud. It broke the 5th metatarsal, whatever, 5th something bone. In the same foot I broke a couple years ago, laughing out loud. I don't know why, but my bones break so easy. Ask my mom how many times she broke her toe in the last 2 years. 10 times probably. Every time it heals, she breaks it again. It's not funny, but it's freaking funny.
And it's not just one toe, it's 2. And it's the same 2 every time. And I keep re-breaking them. And when you go, you can go to the hospital, but they're going to tell you there's nothing we can do for that, blah, blah, blah. You know, it's your toes. You know, we can't do anything about that. So you suffer through it. Every time I get it healed up, every time, and it takes me a while longer because I'm older now. I promise you guys, I am so not even joking. It's not even funny. I re-break them. I absolutely get them healed up for maybe a month, and I re-break them.
Okay, so this is back to JonBenet. It says, also the ransom note was signed SBTC, which was the same initials of the place John did training years ago. Coincidence? I think not. Also, the ransom amount was John's bonus money.
For Christmas, yeah.
Yeah, there was too many things that...
nobody else would know.
That only the 3 people in the house would know.
Family members could possibly. I don't think John or Patsy would give out what he was making as a bonus. I just don't think that. And I don't think they'd be telling their friends. So the only people that knew that was John, Patsy, and Bert was a kid, so it wouldn't even faze him. He don't care as long as he's getting a good Christmas.
Yeah.
You know, so it ain't going to faze the kid. The only one that knew was Patsy and John.
Actually put, it hurts, don't it, Mama? Laughing out loud with the bones.
Oh my God. Mine are still broken because I finally got them healed up. And what was it, 2 months ago?
Yeah.
I hit the coffee table again.
And then Unsolved put Subic Bay Training Center. That was the SBTC for the ransom note.
The ransom note, yes. But you know, they also even proved that it came off the notebook in the home.
This case is, well, she would be 31 now, so 26 years.
26 years.
Yeah, this case happened 26 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
Ashley, so.
And it's still open.
I don't know how old you are, but 26 years ago, you were probably pretty young.
This is still an open case. And you know what? I'm sorry. I hate to say this. They should have took Burke away from Patsy and John. Patsy and John should have went to jail until they opened their mouths. And I'm sorry. Patsy went through cancer and the woman lost her life. I'm sorry. Don't get me wrong. I'm sorry she went through that.
If they can't prove who did it, because the cops could never prove it, even though they thought they knew, you can't just take somebody's kid. There's no proof.
They do it all the time. They take kids all the time.
But for reasons, like you can't just take somebody.
Stupid, dumb reasons.
Well,
this little girl died.
But
somebody should have stepped in and took Burke until they figured this out.
I'm just saying.
That's my opinion.
So yeah, if you're 34 now, you would have been 26
You would have been 4.
26 years ago. Because she wouldn't have been, she would have been 31 now. She was 6 when it happened.
JonBenet, 31.
And she would have been 6.
And she's 34 now?
Yeah, but
she would have been 3.
No, she wouldn't have. JonBenet was 6. She'd be 31 now, so you got to go from 31 to 6, which would be freaking 31 times minus 6 is what, 20?
You would take JonBenet's age away from Ashley's.
If you did that, she'd be 3. But
yes.
She's 6, she would have been 6 then.
JonBenet would have.
If you take 31 from her 34,
then you wouldn't have been born, Ashley.
You get what I'm saying?
I get what you're saying, but
she would have been 30.
Okay, if Ashley's 34 now.
31.
31.
Or 34, yeah.
Okay, 34 now. JonBenet today
would be 31.
Is 31. You take your 34 from her 31, you would have been 3.
She wouldn't have been live yet.
How do you get that? She's older than JonBenet.
Okay.
She's 34. JonBenet would be 31.
Yeah, I don't think you get what I'm saying, but okay.
No, you're not getting what I'm saying. Am I right, you guys? Ashley's 34. JonBenet is 31 today.
But she didn't die when she was freaking 0. She died when she was 6.
I know.
So you have to go from 31 minus 6 and then subtract that number from her age to see how old she was. She didn't die when she was 0. She died when she was 6.
Yes.
So you would take 34 minus 6, or up till she's 6, which would be 31 minus 6 is, I have to get a calculator.
You would take JonBenet's age from Ashley.
You can't do that. Then that means...
Because JonBenet altogether is 31 today.
But she didn't die when she was...
No, she didn't die when...
She asked how long ago was it that it happened. You can't go from the time she was 0. It didn't happen when she was 0.
Okay.
Huh?
Okay.
So 31 or 34 and 31 divided by 6 is, I don't know. I don't know. She would have been 9. Okay, there it is. If Ashley is 34, The murder happened 25 years ago, so Ashley would have been 9. I was right. Okay. When it happened. Because Ashley wasn't born or even alive.
She had to have been.
She'd be 3.
She was 3. JonBenet,
I got that, but
as of today,
it's 31.
is 31.
But that's not what we're asking here. Listen to what I'm saying. The girl wanted to know how long ago it happened. So when she was 6 is when she died. You can't take them 5 years away too. She wasn't dead at 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. She died at 6. So you can't go all the way back to 0. It didn't happen 30. It didn't happen 30 freaking 4 years ago. It happened 25 years ago.
Right.
So you have to take 25 years off of Ashley's 34 years.
But I thought she was asking how old she was.
No, she
when
was asking
this
when
happened.
No,
and I'd say
that is,
she was 3.
No, when it happened, she was 9. It was 25 years ago.
Okay.
Are you not getting it?
I got it. I got it, but I got it.
You're taking the whole age from her whole age.
I'm taking JonBenet's age from Ashley.
And you can't do that because
which makes Ashley
it would be 3.
3 years old.
But she died 5 years later.
Right.
Which would make Ashley 9.
8.
8 or 9, depending on how her year it rotates. So if she's at the beginning of the year, she'd be 8. If it's the end of the year, she'd be 9.
Okay, I got you.
Okay,
but
we're on the same page.
That's not what I thought you were asking.
No.
I apologize.
I knew what I was at. Everybody, yeah. She was 9 when JonBenet died. Okay. She'd be 8 or 9. Yeah.
Because JonBenet was 6.
Yes.
5 or 6.
Yes. Okay, we're on the same page now.
Yeah, how her year went. JonBenet was 5 or 6.
Yeah.
So I think she was 6, but I'm not gonna swear.
Nobody has a clue who killed her. Most people think it's Bert, the younger, the brother.
I think Bert did it. I think he got mad and jealous of her, and she finally tripped his trigger when she ate his snack.
Yeah, I agree.
And he lost it.
Yeah, she took his snack
because he was very jealous of his sister.
And he had the right to be jealous because she was getting everything, he was getting nothing.
Yeah. So I think the last straw with him was when she went down and took his dessert out of the refrigerator, and she was standing at the table eating it, and
he lost it and
killed her.
Yeah.
Over his pineapple. And it was found on the table too, you guys. The dessert,
pieces of it, yeah.
The dessert bowl and everything was still on the table where JonBenet had been eating from it. But that's things they didn't tell you at first.
Yeah, they hid a lot of stuff at first.
They hid it all. They hid a lot
I was
stuff.
pretty young when this happened too, so 25 years ago I'd have been like in my teenage years still, or just getting out of my teenage years.
Not really interested in this kind of stuff.
Yeah, I paid attention because it was everywhere when it happened.
Yeah.
But I didn't pay attention. But I knew enough because everybody talked about it back then. Donna said hi.
Hi, Miss Donna.
And then, correct, Ashley is 3 years older than JonBenet was 6, so Ashley was 9 at the time. Okay. Also, the notepad and trash in the house had practice notes the killer would not write the note inside the house in the dark and practice multiple times.
That's why they say the
Let me finish
flashlight
it.
was there.
Patsy was the same Xmas outfit from the night.
Yep, she had on the same outfit. She did not change. She absolutely did not change her clothing.
And then they.
And Patsy was immaculate in the way she looked at all times.
Yeah.
She was.
Then she put Patsy and John were in the same outfit from the Xmas party the night before. Why? Because they were up all night staging her crime scene. They would be in PJs. Patsy even had a strict routine.
A strict routine, yes. Yes, she did. Because everything revolved around JonBenet and her pageant. So Patsy kept JonBenet strictly on going to bed early.
Mom, keep going off the screen. Move over just a little bit.
Being clean and potty breaks and snack time and all of that was all perfectly lined up every day. That's just how Patsy was. Everything had to be perfect and on time. And I also think Burke got tired of that too. Because Burke wanted to be a kid, but yet he had to follow the same rules as JonBenet, and he wasn't getting the attention that JonBenet was getting. He wasn't doing these pageants, so why should he have to go to bed because his sister did? And I mean, I think it was a lot of jealousy.
I don't think it's the same way, Ashley. Ashley put, dang, was the police like they are with Summers? No, I don't think it was. The police really went into this case at first, but this family has lots of money.
Yep.
So
and
they started. They didn't stop the police, but they knew people that could stop the police.
And that's what they were doing.
Yeah, like the police were trying to solve the case, and all of a sudden, nothing.
Yeah, for years. You guys should know if you.
Well, Ashley was 9 years old when that happened. I was like probably. Well, she was 34. I was.
Go ahead.
6 years later, that I would have been like in my teenage years, so we wouldn't really like. I remember the case because you used to watch it all the time. But,
oh yeah. Anything I've seen.
Most people wouldn't know this case unless they actually looked into the case.
But if you look into this case, there'd be like 2 or 3 years you wouldn't hear nothing. Then all of a sudden, a paper would show up.
Hannah, we're talking about JonBenet Ramsey.
2 or 3 years later, oh, Patsy wrote the ransom note. Oh, the flashlight. She was doing it by flashlight, and the flashlight's right there on the table with the ink pens.
Yeah, that's her most famous picture for sure. I put a picture on here, but it's of the mother and the son and her and JonBenet. But her most famous picture is this one that Crystal was talking about. She put, Ashley, you would have seen pictures of her on TV. She was a beauty queen in pageants. And this is definitely her most famous picture, is the one where she's on stage in a cowgirl outfit. Mm-hmm. That's definitely the most famous picture of her.
Yes.
And then ROWN put, yes, she had to be perfect in pageants.
Wrong. That's wrong.
Wrong, okay. Pageant life is perfect. So everything's got to be perfect.
Oh, I'm sorry.
You didn't do anything.
I thought I just nailed you, but...
Mystery put, singing classes, dancing classes, piano lessons, rock climbing. Like
she had to do all of these things every day. Talent, singing, tap dancing, ballet, cha-chas. I mean, she had to know everything every day because Patsy was living through JonBenet.
Yep.
She wanted for her daughter to do things for her, which I don't know how in the world can that make a mother feel good, because you're not doing it for yourself. You're having your daughter do it for you.
When your daughter's accomplishing goals that you couldn't accomplish,
So,
you're proud when your kid accomplishes a goal.
well, absolutely, but why would you force that child to keep doing that? You can
Because
tell by looking in that child's
I
face
got
all
that,
the
but
time she wasn't happy.
You asked how could you freaking be happy with them accomplishing a goal? Well, parents, you're happy when
I'm
you accomplish
happy
a goal.
that my kids
But when you force them to
have
do it,
goals, but she was being forced to do this because the mother was living through JonBenet. See what I'm saying?
I get what you're saying, but I'm just saying, freaking.
You know?
You said how could she live through her, and I was like, because she's accomplishing goals that she didn't accomplish. That's how she's living through her daughter.
But I mean, it's totally stupid, because I can't live through you.
You could if that's what you live through your kids once your kids start growing up. Like if you're forcing them to do something that you wanted to do when you were a kid, yes, you could live through your kids.
Oh my goodness, then why aren't you on the parallel bars?
Because I don't give a shit.
Why aren't you doing gymnastics?
But you didn't force us to live your life. She's forced her kid to live her life.
Right.
There's a difference.
And that's what I'm saying. You can tell by looking at a lot of the pictures that are out there of JonBenet. Look in that little girl's eyes. Really look into them. That little girl's not happy.
Rome.
She's just
Did you
not
say
happy.
Rome? Is that what?
Rome?
Rome? R-O-W-M?
Rome?
Rome? I don't know. They put Burke smeared poo on the wall in her candy. He had a disorder, I guess.
Yes, he did.
And then no footprints in the snow or anywhere. Yeah, we already
you're
talked
right.
about that. The snow. There should have been some footprints if somebody come in the house, for sure.
There should have been a broken window if they came through the basement, like they said, because there's no way you can put weight on them little bitty windows. You can't do it. Even my scrawny little butt would break them. So yeah. And there was no glass inside. There was no marks anywhere on the house. Nowhere. Where somebody was using a pick or something trying to get in the door, or a knife, or what do they all have in their trunks? What are them things called?
A Jimmy?
No, not a Jimmy, but the long
crowbar?
Yeah. No crowbar marks. Nothing like that. So
everybody agrees with you, Ashley. It says times have changed so much from when I was little. We could walk down the road and not worry about anything. Now you can't even let your kids go out in the yard without worrying about them.
You're absolutely right.
And then Rome put wind busted from the inside. Wind busted from the inside.
The window busted from the inside? No.
Was there? Maybe there was a window that was busted from. Yeah, both. Then Mystery put she was living through her window was busted from the inside. They called their friend over right away and touched her body to
see how cold
botch
she was.
Evidence.
Yeah. So there was no evidence. That's why Daddy went and found her and picked her up and brought her upstairs and laid her in the floor.
And then Rome
that was to make sure there was no evidence on the body, because the family knew who did it.
And then Rome put the suitcase was staged at the window.
Yes, it was.
Which is crazy because the suitcase didn't have any indentions in it. So anybody that dropped down from that window would have, I don't care what your size is, you would have put at least a little dent in that suitcase. And then Mystery put no signs of 4th century.
You're absolutely right. That's what I was talking about. No crowbar marks, no hammer in there, no screwdriver, nothing, no pry marks, no fingerprints, no footprints, nothing.
Nick put, what's up everybody? How's it going, Danny? I'm doing good.
Hi Nick.
And then Ashley put, so how was she killed? More than likely by strangulation, but then they made it seem like she also got
She had a grope.
Yeah, they had
around her neck.
A neck, but they don't think that's what killed her. She was already dead before that got put there to make it look like that's what killed her.
Myself, I think...
brother strangled her. That's what I think.
I absolutely think that he knocked her down and she hit the table in the kitchen.
That's a possibility too, but she didn't have any. She didn't have a. When I did the autopsy, they didn't show a bruise on the back of her head.
No, they didn't. But how do we know that? But I think that's just my opinion, you guys. You know, you can go with your own. But I think the brother. What happened was, what I think is he caught her eating his snack, and he lost it. And I think he shoved her or pushed her or something, and I think she hit her head on...
Which is a possibility. Like she hit her head on something.
On the table in the kitchen, and they took downstairs.
And made it look like something else.
And made it look like it was a murder. That's just what I think.
A grot that was made from material in the basement.
Yes. It all came from their basement.
Everything that happened in this case... come from that house. That house. Like anybody, if I'm sorry, I'm never gonna ever probably murder anybody unless they do something to my kids. Then it might be a different world. But if I was going to go murder somebody, I would have everything that I want to use on that case already with me. I wouldn't go in the house and hope to God I find a piece of paper and some pens and hopefully I got something to strangle somebody with. Like, nobody's going to do that.
Here, and that's another thing, guys. If you're going to kill somebody and it's premeditated, don't buy this shit yourself. Send your friends to get it. Buy it a couple of years ahead of time so nobody
Let's not talk about how you can't really do that kind of stuff on here, Mom.
But,
yeah,
everything came from that house. Everything.
The paintbrush, but not necessarily the rope. I'm not sure what that means. What do you mean, mystery?
Do you mean the rope didn't come from the house, or the paintbrush didn't?
He's not saying anything about that didn't come from the house. It just says the paintbrush, but not necessarily the ropes. I don't know. Then Rome put, and what the heck was those round identifiable marks? A taser?
It was. It was absolutely proved that she got tased. Yes, they were on the neck area. Do you remember that, on the neck area?
Well, maybe she didn't get tased. Maybe that's where she hit her freaking...
No.
Maybe she hit her neck when she got pushed and on something sharp like a nail or something and broke her neck.
She had two of them.
Well, maybe it was two nails.
But I did hear about the taser too. So she could have been tased.
Or fell and hit something that had two sharp points.
Maybe that's why Burke was grinning when he was getting interviewed by Dr. Phil, because he knew.
Two sharp points of something.
That's possible too.
And that killed her because she broke her neck or something.
And it could have just looked like she got tased, but it was proven that she did get tased. I do remember that.
Yeah, I don't remember that. I remember the two marks
that she had the taser marks.
I don't know if they were proved they were tasers. They just proved that there were two marks on her neck. I don't remember ever hearing about the taser, but that's just me.
I do remember it.
In the grot, Patsy's paintbrush was in it.
Yes, it was.
So, okay. Now I get it. I forgot about that, but yes.
You can twist
it around the paintbrush.
And if Burke hurt her so bad, in the kitchen because she got the snack, and maybe she hit the table, or maybe he got a hold of Mom and Dad's taser, which is possible, and she hit the table. Burke just comes off to me as an evil person. There's something about him that totally irks me.
I don't remember hearing that they found a taser in the house, so no. Did they find a taser in the house? There was never a taser found. Like, that would have been a big talked
would've
about
been
story. Yeah,
a
everybody.
big thing, but I did hear that it resembled and looked like taser marks.
But no taser was ever found.
But how do you know that Dad and her mom didn't take it out in their car?
They searched the whole house and the cars.
How do you know they didn't leave before? One of them.
Where's the tire tracks and the footprints? They didn't leave that house at all. I don't even know if they went to the Christmas party because there was no tire tracks or footprints. They could have just said they went to the Christmas party.
I don't know. It's just weird. I mean, the more you think about it.
And then he put, or the train tracks. I remember there being something about train tracks, but I don't remember what it was. But I remember there being something about train tracks.
Wasn't they saying that somebody came down the train tracks and got into the house and got her and did all this stuff to her and killed her, and then they went back down the railroad tracks?
How can you come down the train tracks?
I don't know.
You
walk down them.
You were talking about toys.
Oh.
How can you come down a train track?
You can walk down a train track. I can go over here and walk down the train track.
There's no train tracks by the house. He's talking about in the house.
Oh, in the house. I thought you were talking outside.
Like, how do you walk down the train tracks in the house?
But they also had said that whoever got away went out through the back and probably down the tracks. So, but that's Patsy and John and Burke and all them. I'm sorry, they're guilty.
Yeah, one of them did.
All three of them are accessories and guilty.
That threw me off the mark. That can't be explained. And then the train track is an excellent thought. And then I think Mom is right. The coroner said it was the most likely a taser.
Mm-hmm.
And then they put neighbor's trash in the gutter.
Yep.
See, I don't remember that part either.
Yep.
But I was
but you know, there's been so much. Yeah, there's been so much that has been covered up and hidden. Come on, you guys, 25 years now. They don't let any information out or anything on this, and they still have it as an open case. They will tell you if you call them that this case is still open.
I have no idea about this, but you put, but if all the items used were pretty much all from the house and a taser wasn't found, did a friend take it? Did they find one in the house? No. That's what's odd. Why taser her?
I don't know, but I do know that it was said it was taser marks.
Watch his feet. He's going to be right there when you push the door shut. You're good. Nope.
Cola?
No, my cat.
Oh.
You're going to have to push him away from the door a little bit. Reach out there. Be nice. Push his body away from the door a little bit. He wants to play. Pull him away a little bit and then shut the door behind him. Not real far because he's wanting to enjoy the air. There you go. Now hurry before he decides to move again. Okay. Okay, then we got a bug by me.
I'm just saying.
People think Burke did that. I think Burke did it all. And the mother and father covered it up. Then he put a model train. His play train tracks.
You mean around the Christmas tree?
No, it was in the basement. Also, JonBenet's bed wasn't slept in at all. If I remember right, she had pineapples in her stomach. Yes.
Yes.
I didn't think the police had much experience in murder cases. I
didn't either.
The police had much experience in murder cases.
Right, because common sense would tell pretty much any officer that came to the home.
I think if a murder happens, they shouldn't send.
There's no track.
In my opinion, if a murder happens and you find the murder, where it happened and what happened, the police should be took off the scene right away, and they should bring in investigators that understand murder,
Detectives.
not
Yes.
policemen.
I don't think cops should be
As
there.
soon as the cop shows up and says, yes, the murder took place here, they should be off the scene.
Yep, I believe that.
There should be one cop that stays at the door to make sure nobody goes in until the investigator gets there and they investigate the whole area.
The investigators and the detectives
Yeah.
are the ones that should take
cops should be
over.
took off the scene right away.
So
As soon as they prove it's
I
a
agree
murder,
with that.
as soon as they prove it's a murder, there should be a cop at the door until the investigator gets there.
yes, I absolutely believe that. And there is no markings anywhere
Because cops are not
around
detectives.
that house.
Yeah, cops are not detectives.
No, they're everyday people like me and you. They're not trained to know murders and how it happened, and maybe some of them. I can't say all, but
Crystal said hi.
for the most part, they're not.
Hello, Crystal.
They're not
I'm tired.
trained
Yeah, but-
like a detective or an investigator. It's not the same,
Good night.
Good night.
and I don't think
Good
they
night.
should be there. Good night.
Love you.
Love you. Yeah, you smell like chocolate.
She ate some chocolate cookies.
I also.
Did you?
Yes.
Because I can smell it.
I also put some lotion on my legs today. So.
No, I smell chocolate.
With their sugar cookie lotion.
No, I smell chocolate.
She had chocolate too. She had chocolate.
I know chocolate because I love chocolate too. So.
I can hear
All
that.
right. One mystery put Keystone Cops and Barney Fives.
Yeah. Yeah.
It said you should have been a BPD officer. I don't know what that is.
Me?
What's a BPD officer? And then
Is he talking about me or you?
I have no idea, but then they put, I really wish we could hear what really being said by Patsy in that 911 recording.
Yeah, you cannot understand it. You can hear her mumbling in the back, and no matter how much you turn it up, turn it down, try to regulate out the sound, try to take certain things away from it, you cannot understand what she's saying.
Boulder police officers.
Yes.
That's what it stands for. And he said both of us. Department, sorry.
Oh, do you think we'd give them a
It's
hard
a
time, or do you think we'd be a pushover?
Boulder Police Department. I'd tell them they need to get the fuck off the property and let the detectives take care of the job.
That would be me too. I wouldn't.
Like, I don't want to... Like, I'm sorry. I hope... Like, I've seen a couple of people dead. Like... And I don't know how cops can do it sometimes. Like,
It's got to be hard, you guys.
like especially
because
in
I've seen a few.
especially in big cities, like where it happens
all
lots.
the time, every day, sometimes 15,
Yeah.
20 times a day.
I don't know if I could go in and see somebody that's been murdered
Constantly.
all the time. And I've seen a car crash when I was pretty young up by St. Clair coming back from my Aunt Penny's house, and like it's ingrained in my mind. Like I can see those people
Mine
in that
too.
car to this day. They were dead.
A diesel shoved them
Yeah, and
right into
just
the wall in
just
front
that has bothered me all my life. So to see that kind of stuff every day, I don't know how
of
officers can do
You
it.
have to give the utmost respect to the officers, investigators, detectives, and I know everybody gets upset with the FBI too, but you have to give them men and women credit.
Some of them.
Okay, yeah, some
Some
of them. But you have to give them the credit they deserve because, you know, there's a lot of us that couldn't do what they do.
I don't know if I could do it. Like,
Now, my brother does it every day, and
but some people can do it.
he did 25 years in the service, and he was on the front lines and everything else, you know, Desert Storm, all that stuff, Iraq.
I forgot about that, but yes, she did say that.
So-
It says she was given too much info in the recording as well. We have a kidnapping. Such an odd word choice.
Yeah.
Like, nobody would say that. what you would say is,
I'd
my
say
freaking kid's missing. Get your ass here.
now.
Yeah, you wouldn't think about somebody kidnapping your kid or anything like that. The number one thing on your mind at
Is
that
my child's
moment, my
missing.
freaking kid's missing. Get
Get
your
here
ass here.
now.
Yes, that would be the number one thing.
You can't get to my house fast enough. That's what I'd tell
Are
them.
you here yet? That's what I'd be saying. Come on, get them rolling.
Yeah, I wouldn't say nothing about, we think she's been kidnapped.
Yeah, that wouldn't even cross your mind. Not at that moment.
I can't find my kid. Get here.
I mean, later on.
Where are you? What
later
are you
on,
doing?
if you can't find your kid, then kidnapping might become part of the story. But at that
Right.
moment, you just think your kid walked away.
Right.
Yeah.
I still cannot believe, and I'm sorry, I just cannot believe that them officers that were in the house
Didn't go to that room.
didn't go to the room she was in, but the dad did. He went straight to the room.
Yeah. And then Mystery put, very true. The good ones deserve 100% of our respect. Yes, a good cop.
Oh, absolutely.
And there are there's more good cops than there are bad cops. I don't care what anybody says. There's more, but a bad cop can ruin a whole office of cops.
That are good.
So one bad cop can destroy
One bad
all
apple.
the cops
One bad apple.
in that town.
Mhm.
But I'd say there's more good cops than bad cops. But only takes one bad cop to ruin all the cops.
You got to give all them rescuers, firefighters,
Yeah.
ambulance drivers. I mean, all the men and women who do them jobs. That has got to be devastating to see that stuff every single day of your life. It's just like being on a war front.
And the thing is,
And that's got to be ingrained into your head all the time. I couldn't do it because I have such a big heart, it would kill me.
yeah, and the worst part is, it's not going to be when, like, a grown adult got killed. It's going to be when you're getting a young kid that something happened.
I don't care who it is.
I mean,
I wouldn't want to see
I don't want to do it at all.
So,
But
that's
I'm
just
just
my
saying.
opinion. And you know, what about these people who give phone calls? These officers, firefighters, ambulance crew, and everybody, and they say, oh, this guy shot himself, you know, and you get there and you're like, man, I couldn't deal with that.
I couldn't do it.
Thank goodness for them.
Crystal said she couldn't
God
do it.
bless them.
And then Rome's put the dispatchers too. Yeah, the people that dispatch we should praise them too, because they're the people that get the police department
Dispatch,
there.
yes, absolutely. 911
Yeah.
operators, all of them. God bless them all. I mean, come on, sometimes
How many of those people?
you have to give praise
How many
to
of those
them
people that are doing that job have saved people's lives because they were fast enough to get the cops there?
That's right. Yeah,
And you
to
gotta
all
give-
you operators out there, God bless you and thank you.
Because they're the first response.
That's right.
No matter how you look at it, when you call the cops, the operator is the first response.
Well, when you call an ambulance or anything,
it's still going through the operator.
911. You're still getting an operator who's
So if
still
it ain't-
getting you what you need.
If it ain't for that person getting you the stuff you need, nothing happens.
That's right. You're not going to get any help. If nobody picks up that phone or has that headset on that can take your call and send people that need to be where you're at and what's going on, oh my goodness, God bless them all. I mean, we really have some fantastic people out there that do fantastic jobs. I give praise to the electricians that are out there, to the electric companies, to the linemen, to the roadmen, to everybody that keeps
Fuck the
snow
roadman.
off the road.
Them motherfuckers need to work harder.
Well,
No.
some of them
When I'm
do.
driving down the road, my car goes plop and hits a freaking pothole. Them fuckers ain't doing their job. I don't like.
But, you know, to all of them who are out there, electricians, all of them who are out there, to everybody who's out there, because you guys are all important. Because if you see something happen, you can pick your phone up, or you might have your phone in your hand and you can dial 911 and look what you did. You helped somebody.
Mystery put back to blue. I agree to a point. Like, we should 100% stand behind our cops. 100%. But our cops need better training.
That I agree with.
Way better. Not 3 months training. We're talking like they need to go to training for a year or 2 years before they become a cop. Not a couple months. Like our cops, all cops need better training. All of them. And if a cop...
Well, they need to know how to be on a one-on-one basis with everyday people.
This is another thing that pisses me off. If you're a cop, you're supposed to defend the people. And these damn cops that stood out in front of that school in Texas for 72 minutes, all should be fired. All of them should be fired. Your job is to protect the people, and if you're not going to protect the people, you shouldn't have a job. 72 minutes they stood out there. 72 minutes.
Those babies died, you guys. Those babies died.
I know that's a different subject, but if you're not doing your job, you shouldn't have your job. And you need more training. They need way more training.
Well, they have no way of... a lot of the officers, and I'm not saying all of them, but a lot of the officers think they are better than me and you guys.
Oh,
and they're not. They need to know that we have as many rights as they do. Actually, we have more rights than an officer does, because when they're on duty, they have certain things
boss.
They have to go by. And we pay their salary.
Yeah.
And they disrespect us.
That's funny. Mystery put, to the one man with the shovel on a construction site. There's always one man with the shovel on a construction site.
I always got the shovel.
Like you be driving down the road, and every truck's out on the road to work on the highway, and you see one person working.
With the shovel.
One person.
Yes. And you might have 15 crewmen there.
And they're all on break, it looks like.
And they're all standing around talking, and this one guy's shoveling the crap out of the... And I'm like, yeah, that happens a lot around here.
Then he put, oh yeah, they work for us, not vice versa.
You're absolutely right.
Yeah,
we pay their salaries. And they
us
disrespect a lot of times.
They're to protect us.
Yes.
And if they're not doing that, they should be fired.
That I agree with. But to the ones that get out there and give it their all, God bless you guys.
Like the Border Patrol, which is not even the city cops, went in and got that kid. The Border Patrol, not the cops that worked there. The Border Patrol did it. They said, fuck this, we're going in. As soon as they got there. We're not standing down, we're going in. Border Patrol went right in.
They should come up with, I know they have like tear gas or something, but they should come up with something that kind of, not a tear gas, but something that kind of like stuns you where you can get in the building real quick at least. Somebody come up with something. So we can save more lives.
Yeah, it's just that whole thing in Texas. Yeah, it was bad.
Because if you can go up to a building and you get there instantly and you throw something in there that maybe shocks or stuns everyone or something just for a little bit.
Yeah, but do you want to shock somebody that has a freaking automatic machine gun?
Well,
they're going to pull the trigger. That's shooting everywhere now.
I didn't say shock them.
That's what you just said. You throw something in to shock them.
No, I said you throw something in there that stops them.
Oh, I thought you said shock. I was like, some of the murderers have had automatic machine guns. You shock them, they're going to pull the trigger.
No, I not shock. Stop. Throw something in there that, well, they have to rub their eyes or something or anything.
Anything that can stop it. But
so you can get in there.
Put, they have rules to follow, but screw that when it comes to saving kids. Exactly. Screw that. I don't care about your damn rules. Your rules are to protect me.
That's what I pay you for.
If one of my kids end up getting, I'm sorry, hopefully it never happens, but if one of my 2 kids get killed because a cop didn't go in to help them, I'm going to take some cops out. I don't give a fuck what anybody says. Like, they're the reason my kid died. Because they stood out there for 70 minutes and did nothing. You're not going to be able to get to the kid now because they killed the kid before he come out of the building. So that leaves the cops that let my kids be trapped in there with the gunmen.
I say our government needs to come up with something.
Our government doesn't need to do shit. The schools need to put guns in every classroom, but not on...
I say put the veterans there.
There's two things that I think you should do at schools. Veterans need jobs. They know how to use guns. Mm-hmm. That you can pay them the minimum amount of money. Like they're not gonna want $80,000-$90,000 a year. They're gonna want minimum wage, which is fine.
They want a job.
They just need a job. Have them standing at 2 or 3 doors in your building.
Yeah.
And every room should have a gun with a lockbox. People are saying, I keep hearing people say, give the teachers guns, like on their holster. What? Like, if a kid happens to get it from the teacher, you have a lot more problem now because every school has teachers that have guns on them.
So we have to be careful what we
What I think they should have a gun in a lockbox at the school, and
in the classrooms.
Maybe a code that changes every day. So there's a new code every day, so the kids never figure out the code, mm-hmm. and it changes every day.
Yeah, I agree. I agree, and there should be guns.
So if anybody comes in
the classroom,
if anybody comes in, then teachers poke that code in, and they're ready if somebody comes in their room.
I love the one school, and I can't remember. I want to say it's in Indiana, but they have bulletproof doors. Once the kids go in the classroom.
Yeah, but some schools can't afford that.
You shut the doors and they're bulletproof.
Yeah, but...
And I think that's awesome.
That's cool, but... Like, these schools around where we live couldn't afford that.
Quit sending our money overseas and give it to our own people.
They're not going to do that.
Then we can afford it.
Well, they're not going to do it. So, these schools that are around where we live, like where my son and daughter are in their schools, they can't afford bulletproof freaking doors.
Well, I know, but... These kids are worth it.
But they can, all schools can afford to have veterans guarding the schools.
Absolutely.
Because all you're going to have to do is pay a minimum wage because they just want a job.
Yeah, there's a lot of them just want a job. And they would put their life on the line to protect your child. Because that's what they did when they were overseas. They protected us all. That's what they're accustomed to and used to. God bless them too, huh? Yeah, we have a lot of people to be grateful for.
But the Boulder PD was in way over their heads.
They were stupid because...
Yeah, but...
When all of us are sitting here putting 2 and 2 together 25 years later,
I think
nobody was in that house.
Yeah.
Except the family, you guys. Nobody.
And then Crystal put, yes, I agree. People with guns that look like normal staff, so no one knows who they are. Yes.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Just regular looking veterans.
Everyday dress.
Walking through
jeans, t-shirt.
Just look like the kids' parents.
Yeah.
That are there.
Yeah, I agree. That don't look out of place or anything. Yeah, I agree with that.
Yeah, not showing who they are because then everybody knows who they are.
Exactly.
Just regular people in the school. Mm-hmm. Make them like a janitor. Like while they're there, they do janitor work. So they're constantly moving. And it looks like they're the janitor. But they're not.
Mm-hmm. There's ways to get around a lot of stuff. We just have to put our heads together and think. You know, and then back to the JonBenet, most of us have put our heads pretty much together, and the family's guilty of that little girl's death. The family is completely guilty.
One of them did it. And I don't
and the others covered it.
like it. It wasn't the father. I'm sorry, the father didn't do it. It was either the mother or the son. Like there's nothing that has come out that said the father did it.
I've never heard anything, but
So it was either the mother or the son.
and
But he covered it up.
he did.
He's the one that
So
went.
he's an accessory.
He's the one that went down there after it happened.
And picked her
And
up and
he's also the one that
destroyed
probably.
evidence.
He's also the one that probably wrapped the thing around her throat.
The garrote.
Yeah, he's probably the one that did that. So he covered it up for his wife or his son. But we're going to get off here, guys. It's been 2 hours and 10 minutes on here.
I absolutely enjoyed talking
So-
to you guys tonight, and we talked a lot without anybody even being on. We were just
So go-
talking about JonBenet.
Go watch from the beginning because we didn't have anybody on for like the first, 20 minutes?
Oh, I don't know, but
Yeah.
we just...
Probably the first 20
talking.
minutes we were just talking about the case because I figured it's going to go up and you guys can watch it anyway. So for like the first 20 minutes we just talked about the case.
Right, about things that we felt and how it started out and how the family came home from a Christmas party and the neighbor, and there was no footprints, and just how officers can usually tell because...
Before you guys jump off here, we are not going to have the lives for the next 3 days because at nighttime I want to be able to get out and do stuff. It's nicer at nighttime. So our next live, which will be next Monday, we're going to do ghost stories and UFOs and different stuff, and then the Monday,
aliens.
and then the Monday after that we'll do the food one. So every Monday we'll have a guaranteed 8 o'clock live, 8 Central live
On Monday.
every Monday.
But we're finding to do them every day because sometimes I'm really sorry, you guys. I'm going to be honest with you. Sometimes I don't feel good.
Yeah, so
You know,
every
I'm older and I
every
don't
Monday
feel good.
we will have a live. So this next Monday we will do the UFOs, ghost stories, anything that has anything to do with that kind of stuff. Bigfoot, freaking the Loch Ness Monster, whatever you want to talk about next Monday.
And you did get to see a side of me and Danny that we don't disagree too often, but you guys got to see that tonight we kind of disagreed, and we agreed to disagree and go on. Because it's okay to be somebody's friend. You don't have to always agree with each other. But it's okay to say...
But as you guys know, I'll be live every day this week. It just would be at different times. Like, Monday will be a set 8 o'clock, so every Monday there'll be a live at 8 o'clock. I'll be live tomorrow and the next day and the next day and the next day and the next day, but it'll just be whenever I randomly go live.
Right.
But there won't be no set thing. Usually I just go live when we talk. But a set live every Monday at 8 Central. And this next one's going to be about ghost stories and stuff. But we're out of here, guys. Bye.
You guys have a great night. Praying for you, Ashley. Yeah.